Fiancé dumped me for making more money than him, then saw me having coffee with a family friend, lost his mind, and showed up at my door accusing me of cheating. Hey everyone, I, 28F, had been with my fiancé Alex, 34M, since 2020. We met at a friend's party, hit it off, and have been together ever since. He finished his doctorate in economics just last year, and since then, he's been working at the university. I have my master's in media sciences and decided to start working instead of pursuing a PhD. Okay, so here's the problem. Alex broke up with me last Monday. It was literally so surreal and honestly just weird. For the past few months, he'd been acting strange, making demands and then dropping them immediately. A few examples. He told me we were going to paint our walls from dark green to white. When I asked why, he just said, for S sake, forget it, and never brought it up again. Even when I asked him about it another time, he just blew it off. He came home one day, got mad because I was sitting on the couch with my head covered in a blanket because I had cramps, and he was upset that I was just sitting there watching Netflix. Mind you, the house was spotless. When I tried to talk about it, he just said, forget it, it's not a big deal. This kind of thing became common. Every time I tried to communicate or figure out what was going on, whether it was something I did or maybe he was just stressed at work, he would say everything was fine, but he was clearly seething with rage. I didn't even have to do anything. He would find something to complain about, my clothes, my work, etc. So I gave him space, which apparently was also wrong. I told him I was going to help my parents with repairs for a few days, and somehow that was also wrong because he wanted to renovate the apartment too. Then on Monday, I got a text saying we needed to talk. I knew what was coming, and after the last few months, I had made peace with it. When I came home, he was sitting on the couch. He didn't even wait for me to take off my jacket before saying, I want to break up. Then the verbal diarrhea started. He told me he resented me for not pursuing my academic career further, even though I was capable, and that he didn't want to upset me at the time. Then, when I started making more money, since he didn't make much as a PhD student, he felt like I should have the last word financially, and he hated it. Mind you, I never said anything like, it's my money, so I have the final say. That was a rule he imposed on himself, and he hated it. He said he hated our paint scheme, the couch, and even our damn crockpot. Then he told me he had rejected a better PhD program to stay here because I had already started my job by the time he got the acceptance letters. Only he never told me he had even applied overseas. He said that a few months ago, he checked in with a friend who's in that program, saw how they were thriving, and decided that I ruined his life. He said I had too much control over his life and that he hated the idea that I could just decide not to pay for things and him over. I honestly don't even know what that means. He also said he hated that all his friends loved me and didn't let him vent about me. Then he said again, I'm done. I was floored. I had already made peace with the idea that we were ending, and it hurt, but after that rant, I was just disgusted. I looked at him, probably with a disgusted expression, and said, okay. He lost it. He said, this is exactly what I mean. It's horrible. We've been together for 4 years, and all you have to say is okay to our breakup? I just asked if he wanted to stay here while he figured out where to go. He said, typical, of course you're holding the apartment over me, and started ranting again. So, I just left. I told my parents, and they were also confused. My dad suggested I reach out to our landlord and explain the situation to see what options I had. I can keep paying the rent no problem myself. He covered the utilities and some subscriptions. Just to reiterate, I never had a problem with this. I saw that he was chasing his dream, and that was more important to me than a 50-50 financial split. I make good money, and I'm happy at my job. I never saw it as slaving away. I always had the mentality that my money was our money because we were building a life together. Of course, I had my own savings and fun money, but I honestly never cared as long as I felt he was working towards something and wasn't taking advantage of me. I was fine with it, more than fine. Alex is still mad. He's going between texting me like a robot about the logistics of the split and being a seething mess, complaining about everything. I'm not even hurt anymore. I just feel nauseated by him at this point. I don't know. Should I have reacted differently? Edit. Thank you for all your opinions. It was nice to get this off my chest. LOL. Just to clarify, though, I don't feel like a victim. I feel like something happened and my relationship just turned bad. He behaved like an underscore underscore, but that is the extent of it. Very clearly, something is going on, but he doesn't want me to be part of whatever it is, and I have to respect that. Now, I just have to detangle myself legally from him, and after that, I'll just be left alone with my ugly green wall color. I think I might also adopt a cat, as I was really allergic. Update 1. To start, Alex moved out pretty quickly after the breakup. He's been staying with a friend, and we sorted out everything like mail, subscriptions, and the lease. I'm also in the process of adopting a cat. Her name is Luna, but I've been thinking about changing it since my family already has 2 pets named Luna, Ammon, and Kamar. She is still at her foster home for now, but I visited her a few times and already adore her. She is a scrappy little tabby who follows her foster mom around like a shadow, and I can't wait for her to move in during the first week of December. I've already gotten her bowls, toys, and a bed by the window ready. Now, on to what happened last week. I was out showing someone around the city. He's the son of my parents' friends who recently moved here for work. My parents asked me to help him get familiar with the area, so I agreed. It was nothing special, just walking around, grabbing coffee, and pointing out useful spots in the city. Apparently, Alex saw us. I didn't even realize he was there, but later that night, I started getting texts from an unknown number. I guess he got a new number since I blocked his old one. The texts were just weird. He accused me of flaunting my new relationship in public, said I must have been seeing this guy before we broke up, and told me that everything he suspected about me was true. I didn't respond. I wasn't going to entertain his paranoia. The messages kept coming, though. They went from angry to desperate, with him saying things like, "At least admit you were lying to me," and "Was anything about us even real?" It was exhausting and honestly a little scary to see how quickly he spiraled. For the record, this guy isn't my boyfriend. He's not even someone I'm interested in. He's just the son of family friends who needed help settling into the city. The whole thing was completely innocent, but Alex has twisted it into some kind of betrayal in his head. What gets me is how little Alex seems to know me. I'm not the type of person to jump into a relationship so soon after everything that happened. Even if I were, it wouldn't be any of his business. We are done. I've made that clear. After I didn't respond to his texts, Alex started calling. I didn't pick up, but the voicemails were a mix of angry rants and desperate pleas. I ended up blocking his new number too. It feels ridiculous that I have to keep doing this, but I guess this is where we are now. Then this weekend, I went out to a bar with my friends. A few hours in, guess who walked in? Alex. I don't know if it was a coincidence or if he followed me there, but as soon as he spotted me, he came straight over. He was clearly upset, asking to talk, and I told him no. My friend stepped in, and thankfully, he left without causing a scene, but it ruined my night. It felt like I couldn't escape him, no matter where I went or what I did. When I got home later that night, I was completely drained. I had just started to relax when I heard a knock on my door. It was Alex, standing there in tears. He started crying, saying he missed me, that he didn't understand why I was doing this to him, and that he didn't know how to move on. It was like all the anger from earlier had been replaced with this desperate sadness. I didn't let him in. I told him he needed to leave, and if he didn't, I would call someone to make him leave. He begged me to listen, but I just closed the door. I spent the rest of the night feeling shaken and, honestly, a little scared. I don't know what he's going through. I wrote to his best friend about the situation, but he pleaded with me to talk to him. He said he would. I'm seriously considering getting a new phone number and possibly even talking to someone about how to handle this legally if it keeps happening. It feels fair that I have to go to these lengths just to have some peace, but I don't see another option.